Oh, I wondered if it was going to come through again. It was something that I got the phone out recently and did a video, and then they told me to delete it, and I was waiting for it to come through again, and it has. And it's about the as we move more into a space where time is kind of becoming really strange for everybody or irrelevant, and it's basically just the moment of now, this continual evolution of being in one moment at all time, all the convergence of past, present, future selves coming to the here and now. And this is how we can connect to past lives and all of the gifts that we've had across the ages, and also the insights from wherever we've lived, you know, across the realms, across our no one's, don't be trying to send something to me, that's silly. Anyway, sorry. Vikings. So the main point, I'm getting pulled in lots of different directions right now. Okay. It was basically about timeline and it just not existing as the old 3D world collapses and we move into 5D and root ourselves in. We can be whatever we want to be at whatever time, whatever sex we are, however we, you know, identify, whatever we do behind closed doors, as long as it's within loving intention, we're good. And it got pulled back. You know, I share all this with love. You know, I'm never ever about sharing anybody else's business or looking down on people for their choices, but I can only share from a place where I've observed through my life and got to the point now as a woman, 38, single, childless, and I've made my choices for myself, and know what will unravel for me in the coming days, weeks, months, years, time, whatever, however it moves. I know it's very, very quick and quite thick right now. So basically, everybody used to go on Tinder and all this bits, you know, that how we mate. Someone's picking up me saying bits and bobs all the time. It's just something I say. Bits and bobs probably comes out a bit too much, but it's like my filler word. Bits and bobs. Anyway. Why is everybody pulling me in so many directions today? It's really difficult to get this message out. It's not said with any disrespect, it's observation. So we've all done the dating scene. We've all, you know, chosen the way we move through the world. We're on a different path. We're all at different levels of our own awakening, depending on our own generational karmic debt, personal karmic debt, whatever, blah, blah, blah. This is not about that. This is about a couple of like people that I knew back in the day, you know, had been on their own journey, and I was observing, you know, as you do, you meet your friends, you meet their partners, you go out and you observe relationships in a non-judgmental way, I trust, because there's no point in us judging someone else's relationship or wanting to get involved when we've got no idea what goes on behind closed doors. And that is the intention of the sacred journey into divine union and marriage, the old school view of marriage. And there was something that I posted on the community tab and also on my Facebook, I think, about marriage being the final mystery school, because the old way it was interpreted is very different to the way that modern Babylonian society has skewed monogamy or commitment or the sanctuary or, you know, settling for sex once a week. It's all right if that's what people want, cool, but, you know, if you've got other needs and things, you know, we've got to settle that. That's just part of married life. That's just part of being with someone for a long time. Nope, not in my world, sorry, not settling for that, never wanted that. And every time I heard that stuff, my soul was always like, I wouldn't say anything. It's quite hard sometimes to like stop the emotions that come out on my face, but every time someone say, you know, we've been married a couple of years, you know, sex once a month, or, excuse me. I mean, without the primal acknowledgement of basic human needs, animals, we are animals. Also, the energetic power that we can all harness from orgasm if we are using it consciously in conscious ways. Sacred union, sacred sex, like clean practices, you know, the sacral chakra is as again I said in the other video, but it's coming up again here now. Obviously, repetition is a form of, you know, don't want to say brainwashing. Repetition is a form of, us getting things into our head as part of the deprogramming. But the sacral, as a woman, it's life force, the womb, it's abundance, it's bountiful. And so observing the relationships around me, someone I knew, friend, well, I considered her a friend. The way she treated me in the end was questionable, but people are not okay in their heads when they go through various traumatic experiences. But basically, friend got married to what everybody thought was, a healthy, conscious relationship, and after 6 months, and she was, this is, I want to say we only just, us lot had turned 30 or maybe 33. So young, not like, if people want to get married at that age or consider it young or old, whatever, we all make our own choices. I'm just talking about my journey. So, and they got divorced after 6 months. So huge wedding, a lot of money spent, a lot of energy put into it. 6 months, divorced. And then, as you support your friends around, you sort of check in how they're doing afterwards. But obviously they've got to move through stuff on their own, and sort of met up with her. And one day I met up with her, wanted to go to a restaurant. We were just at some nice Vietnamese restaurant in Highbury. And I get there, the back in the day when I planned and was hot on timing, say 1 o'clock. She's like, oh, and I get there, and I'm sat there for like an hour and a half. And she texts me, she's like, oh, I've just been on a date. She got there in the end, late. Like, she kept me waiting an hour and a half because she'd been on a date. Now, in the run-up to this, and when she was there and revealed stuff to me, it's like dating every day, every single week for like a long time, to find a new partner after having just gone through very painful, I could imagine. I can't imagine because it hasn't happened to me, but what I would feel was, I felt our pains. That's why it was all a bit weird. Is been through, all the prep for a marriage, all the money spent, all the families involved, and then 6 months together of maybe not very nice on either end, because it's always two sides to a story. And then not allowing ourselves to grieve or get over something so big. We just want to go back into something to find the right person. We've got to be with someone. We've got to get married. We've got to go on that time. We've got to start a family. Got to do that. And we're only 33. And so in that militant, and a lot of this is just, she's just one of, this is the society, what it breeds. She was militant in finding a person. We've all been there. I've done the dating thing too. I'm not saying haven't dipped my toe, in that world. But I'm not desperate. Like, I'm never out here chasing or seeking a dream, chasing someone, flow in and out. We connect with who we connect with. We share the love as we go. But to fob your mates off, because was just, you observe behaviour, don't you? And to start fobbing your friends off and not really be aware of your behaviour because you're so desperate to find somebody is quite sad and really upset me. I'm quite a sensitive soul and stuff like that, and obviously my friends know I like for us all to be accountable, and if I've got something to say, I'm going to say it. And a lot of my mates as well, like, I wouldn't want to push their buttons because they've all got strong characters, and this is where integrity and accountability happens in our relationships, so that we learn, firstly by ourselves, and then with our friend groups, and then with our partner, should we choose to be with one person or not. That was one example. I was just like, fuck, I think in my soul, as I said, over this journey forever, for anyone who's been watching these videos or whatever, is my soul's always been guiding me, or our souls guide us in ways that we don't really know about in the here and now. But because this story has stuck with me, it's obviously had quite a profound impact on some of the choices that I've made, observing people around us. And I thought, I don't want that for myself. I never wanted to act in that way of forcing anything. We can be keen and motivated and excited for stuff, but where at the point it sort of becomes obsession and tunnel vision, and our relationships around us deteriorate and suffer because of this, obsession. Can't think of another word because I don't want to lose a tangent because I've got something else coming through. you know, that's not okay. It's not balanced, especially as a feminine woman, female. I don't believe that is harnessing our divine feminine power and sacral. It's coming from a place of wounding, deep wounding, which I can't, as I said, I can't really imagine. I can only recall the feelings I felt, and being an empath or an intuitive, and a friend, someone who cared and loved this person at the time. So anyway, yeah, we moved on our separate paths because that was just not aligned with how I don't want to be around women that are feel they're forced to do anything at a certain timeline and or prove anything to anybody. It's just for me, I want to be slow and intentional and authentic. And then another one, I had another a male friend, and I considered him a good friend back in the day. I realised maybe the dynamic was slightly, you know, not reciprocal in ways, or different love languages and stuff within friendships. But and I'm definitely not going to get involved with male friends of like having their partners judge or start to say things and affect the relationship between me and them. I'm happy to just walk away. Like if the friend doesn't want to include me in things, or wants to judge me, or wants to listen to one person's view over mine, like, I'm happy to walk away. Like, you're all right, bruv. I'm not going to get involved in any loving relationships if the missus is going to have a problem with them being a mate of mine, because I know who my emperor is, and I know what path I'm on, so I'm not about to get involved in anybody else's business. I want to see other people shine. I want to see other people in happy relationships. I want to see other people not fall asleep on themselves and not think that they need to be in toxic or abusive relationships because they don't want to be alone. I'm not on anyone's side at all. I'll tell it how it is to anyone, even if I love people. The truth is just going to be served. They want me to say because I'm walking karma, but I think all of us can be walking karma if we are on our own sacred personal mission and we have surrendered to higher guidance and higher self, because higher self really does know all the stuff because they've done it all. They're watching from another realm, and what I trust, and I know that the new children that are coming through women at the minute, through wombs, are being born at this time, are so solid in their knowing, because they're being born into the age of knowing. It's not about thinking anything, like knowing that they will be evolved in ways that we have not been, i.e. concepts like self-doubt and things like that will not be an option to them, because they're so tapped into higher guidance that they already see the path ahead in ways that us as seers or visionaries or clairaudiences might have had to. We're working with 3D, the lower realms, whereas these children that are being born through, they're connecting with the 5D, they're connecting with a different timeline and different purpose to pull I was going to say push or pull, whatever it is, maybe because there's a bit of a tug about this 3D, 5D thing at the minute, but because these children's energy and their knowingness and their solid, like, anyway, I'm not going to talk about that publicly, they have a much clearer vision, and so that is the evolution through the ages, through the generations, is that their third eye and crown chakra will be far more advanced from an earlier age than ours ever have been, and that is just because of the energy with which they've been born into, and the ascension, where we're at in the ascension rate of the earth right now. I didn't know that was coming through. I wanted to actually tell another story about my brother with this friend of mine. Anyway, okay, so back to that story. Sorry for the tangents. Is my mate, you know, there was a couple of us, and well, we found a woman that he liked, and you know, as a friend, you sort of try to get to know each other and just, you know, stay in your lane and just full joy, someone finding somebody that they can fall in love with. And I don't know, judgments about me being single or about us being on a timeline, you know, that's the kind of connect between the two stories, is that everybody feels rushed to get married and have kids and do things like that. Maybe in a Western way. I think it's in modern society. It's not just really the West right now, but all of us feel like no, I'm not going to claim that. Many of people in modern society feel that they are on some form of timeline, and that you're barren and you're desperate and you're useless and you're worthless if you don't achieve certain things by a certain age. But you know, we can all age like fine wine once we start to tap into the shadow work and the soul work, because it's deep healing, it's beyond the physical, and once you connect with source energy and the light, it's abundant. The light is abundant for us all. You know, it's the infinitum. There is more than enough for everybody to go around. That's why we don't need to compete or do anything. There's more than enough to go around. So we were just chatting, and he said something. And again, my soul knows things before they happen, or I realise in the physical world. It's taken me a long time to wake up to things because I got many Scorpio placements and we're just late bloomers, as I've seen recently. I was reading a little bit about that. And I could hear someone saying, "Get to the point." There's no real point. I'm just talking. The point is, I'm a channeler, and I'm sharing my learning journey of how to channel this stuff. As a human aerial, there's another beautiful reader that I follow that calls herself a human aerial, and she's fantastic. But you know, when you get a lot of things all at the same time, which, you know, I'm not talking from my experience, but sometimes people that are diagnosed with ADHD are highly spiritually gifted. So it's just about that kind of training. It might not even be anything, well, people would consider it negative, but it's not, for me, in my opinion. It's highly gifted. But so yeah, we were sitting down just talking about the dating thing, and, you know, finding a partner, how's things going, blah blah blah, and, you know, timeline, and is it, I think someone was asking, you know, do you think it's rushed or quick? Because I can't remember if he proposed or talking about a marriage. And then he just said, well, it's not like there's a queue at my door, is there? And for me, when I heard that, even now, I'm just like, if that is the thought that's in your head as a reason why you wish to propose or get with somebody long term, I'm not sure that that is okay, or coming from a place of a full activated heart chakra, or place of self-love, self-worth. And I trust and wish these people all love. I haven't got anything against anybody. I'm out of that matrix. I'm not saying I'm going to be friends with everybody, but I share because this is what we have, this is what many of us have succumbed to in modern Babylonian society, is thinking that we need to be doing things because they've done that, or doing that because, you know, your brothers and sisters have got married before you, or done this before. It's just a shame. It's just all that comes through is like, I feel love for these people, but it's sad that we have fallen so far down the rabbit hole. And I really trust that as we all, because right now, whoa, been to a couple of things recently. I'm just observing, getting more in the social scene. Not much, still hermiting, but the telepathy between women and things and telekinesis and is growing. Is wow. And there was a nice meme. Someone the other day was saying, intuition is always a hard thing, or it's always going to trigger people because it's often misinterpreted before it happens. I don't think I can recall the exact words of it, but basically we know before things happen. That's why we have to be comfortable to be looked at as having psychosis, or you're this, you're a selfish bitch, or you're a sado loner, or, you know, you're not going to get with anybody, blah blah blah. I'm just patient, because when messages come through from higher self and we trust and believe it, there's nothing else to follow. And we don't need to do things in the same way anymore. There is no rush, and we're only going to anchor ourselves into that belief, that knowingness. It's not belief, it's knowing right now, is that time has been a construct, and time is now that ever continual moment of moving forward. That's why for me it's as I really want to be rooted more in my divine feminine all the time, the planning and the organising and the structures, the appointments and time is very jarring. Like, I did spend 4 months. It's no small time, especially as the sensitive, where you soak up things a lot. It's almost like an accelerated amount of time, but I spent a significant amount of time in a place where time is you know, it's slower, and it jars my soul now to start diarising, to be around anybody that says, oh, I'm busy. I can't function around that anymore. No disrespect to anybody else. We have to go with what works for us. It's too much masculine energy for me, and I don't want that, because it will bring in the wrong people, the wrong emperor to me. I want to be really fully rooted in my feminine energy, and I flow with my masculine energy because I've got skills. We've all got skills, and we need to manage our life logistically in certain ways so that we can maximise the opportunities that are coming our way right now. There's so much coming for the collective, for people that are on this ascension path consciously. There is so much magic. I'm not going to say it's without challenge, but to be honest, challenge like brings magic. That is, and I guess a lot of the, you know, Pluto and Scorpio, anyone that's got a lot of Scorpio, water placements, Piscean, like, you know, we're more comfortable in those darker depths and flowing and unknowingness, because nothing is certain, and it's only going to become more of that. So yeah, I don't think I need to say anything else other than love and respect to everybody. And please make sure when we go into any form of long contracts, you know, make sure we're reading the fine print, or long-term relationship, like make sure it works for us, because we love ourselves, because we know our worth, you know, because we know the work, the time, the money, the books that we've spent individually in this self-development, this spiritual awakening path. That's why our energy is sacred when we do this work, because it's a choice. Not many people make this choice, and so our energy becomes rarer and rarer because few people do it. But the more of us that can harness our own unique path, then we can all share the differences, because we've all got our own gifts to awaken. And so it's really beautiful that we can start, you know, whether it's sharing circles, whether it's cross-generational, but we need to be coming together to share the downloads, to share what everyone's moving through, because that is how we collectively grow. That's how we can use how we can work with unity consciousness better, and how we can demolish any thoughts of comparison and 3D, lower energy, lower vibrational thought patterns of, well, she's got that, and so when am I going to get mine? I mean, I've been on this journey of, sorry, my third eye's popping right now. It's a lot. Anyway, I don't know, I was going to say something, but I'm just going to leave that there. Thank you. Whatever.